They are known as equus cabellus, or more commonly, horses, and they are perhaps one of the oldest and greenest forms of transportation out there. One woman shares some insurance and caretaking tips for these majestic creatures.
They're just so personable. As I mentioned, they're like a couple of big dogs. They've got their own personality. The feeling you get when you're on the back, the power they have, and one thing I've learned is horses are very humbling. You learn that great power and strength that they have, you know, you can be in control of it to a certain extent, but they're still their own animal. No matter where you are, we're located on the highway, but even if you're way out in the backwoods, you want to be sure that you've got adequate fencing, proper fencing that's going to be secure and stable to ensure that they're not going to get out and create a situation, you know, where you have an insurance claim. It's always important to keep your gates closed and locked. We're constantly checking our fencing to make sure that, you know, because it's electric, we want to make sure the connections are all there and that no branches have fallen on it, and just make sure it's doing its job, basically, which is keeping them in. There had been an accident recently on the highway where a vehicle hit two horses. The horses were killed, the driver was uninjured, but the car was written off. So it got me wondering about what sort of insurance coverage I would have if something like that were to happen with us and someone was to sue me. If I would have my third-party liability, which would you know, cover me. So I made a call to my insurance broker. I wanted to be sure that we were adequately covered. She informed me that we have $2 million liability. We have $2 million liability with the policy that I have. And on top of that, my daughter is a member of Horse Council BC, which provides an additional $5 million once our home coverage has run out. So from that information, I felt comfortable knowing that we had sufficient coverage in the event that, you know, an accident should occur on the highway involving somebody else. I did find out also from my broker that they will cover up to a certain amount of value towards our TAC. So that's good to know that our equipment is covered to a certain extent. And again, everybody's policy varies, so you want to be sure you check and see what's covered under your policy. We were in for a real surprise, you know. I mean, just having horses is one thing, but the upkeep is another. You know, you constantly got the cleanup after them. They're large animals, they have small stomachs, and they go to the bathroom a lot. So needless to say, you're constantly cleaning up after them. There's all the responsibilities, the shoes that you have to have on them or their feet trimmed, the hay you've got to buy in the winter, you know, grain, grooming supplies, vet bills, all of the responsibilities with owning an animal, but it's just worth every penny.